Hi, this is Mike Prothero again. I'm doing a quick brief lesson on how to cross VLANs using sub-interfaces on a router. As you can see, I already have my network set up, but I just want to explain the setup with you. And this is very similar to the previous videos you've watched on how to set up VLANs. I have two PCs here that are on the 192.168.100 network. They are currently hooked to switch port 1 and switch port 2, which are default VLANs, default VLAN 1, so there's no configuration required. On these two PCs, they're on the 200 network, and they're hooked to ports 16 and 17. So I used the connection here between the PC and the console, and I configured the server to set these two PCs up. I created a VLAN 2 and a VLAN 3, and then I set these two ports 15 and 16 on VLAN 2, and I set this server on VLAN 3. So as you can see in this video here, this is supposed to be VLAN 3. One of the reasons why you separate your switch is to have two separate networks to reduce collisions, reduce congestion, improve security. But these networks may have the need to access a particular web server or server of some kind, so they would not be able to do that with just an ordinary trunk line, which we have configured here. This is port 24 access. We configured this as a trunk, very similar in the last video on how to create a trunk line. But what we did here is we connected the trunk line to the router and to fast Ethernet port 00. And as you can see as I pass over this, slide over here a little bit, you'll see the interfaces here. There we go. Our fast Ethernet 00 is up, has this IP address, and we configured a sub interface of 00.1 and another sub interface of 00.2, and we assigned those IP addresses as well. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. These are all the gateways for the three networks. We have this network here, this network here, and this network here, and these are the three gateways for it. And here's how you configure that. You go into the terminal, into your router, and inside the router you're going to end up eventually having to get to your enable mode, your config mode, config terminal mode. And from there, the first interface you already know how to do, interface FA00, and then you just do your IP address as normal and your subnet mask as normal. Then when you're done with that interface, we have done that several times. We want to do the next interface. I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. And our next interface is fast Ethernet 0.1. So we're going to go interface FA0/0.1. That will get us into the sub interface. Got to spell INT right. That helps. Try that again. Interface. There, I'm in the sub interface. Now we can't just pop IP address in here because it won't work. You have to tell it how you're going to encapsulate the traffic to make it different from the other traffic. So you have to type the word encapsulation. I spelled it right this time, I hope. And then you have to do this .1Q followed by a space and the VLAN number, like 2. So I'm going to encapsulate .1Q2. That puts an encapsulation around the traffic that's heading to that port, makes it different than the traffic heading to the other subports. And now we can put our IP addresses of those particular ports. And this one is going to be the second one down, which is right here, this 192.168.201. 192.168.201. And I got to put the subnet mask on there. And the no shut. You do that with the other one as well. We'll exit out of there and we'll come over here and repeat the process. Interface 2, And we'll go up there and we'll do the same thing with encapsulation. This time we'll change it to 3 and because we're on VLAN 3 we're configuring for. And the IP address, which is going to be this one, 10.0.0.1. So we'll change this 10.0.0.1 255.0.0.0 no shut. There we go. There we have it. So now you have these sub interfaces configured with the proper IP address. There's one physical port with 3 IP addresses. Each of these will be able to ping their own gateway, which is up here. They could also now, since we have a routing protocol, they're physically connected, we could ping between networks where we couldn't do that before with just an ordinary trunk line and no router. We could also ping our server. And that's a quick breakdown on VLANs and how to use the server with sub interfaces to talk between the VLANs. Thank you.